Hello and welcome to the channel. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has declared a state of emergency on food security by ensuring farmers get abundance of fertilizers and grains to help reduce the effect of subsidy removal. Let's talk details. Subscribe, like, share, and comment. Thank you. Tinubu declares state of emergency on food security. President Bola Tinubu on Thursday declared a state of emergency on food security. Tinubu also approved that all matters pertaining to food and water availability and affordability as essential livelihood items be included within the purview of the National Security Council. Special Advisor to the President on Special Duties, Communications and Strategy, Dele Halake, disclosed this while briefing State House correspondents after consultations with key stakeholders in the agricultural sector at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. He said that the President has directed an immediate release of fertilizers and grains to farmers and households to mitigate the effects of the subsidy removal. According to him, we will immediately release fertilizers and grains to farmers and households to mitigate the effects of the subsidy removal. There will be an organic synergy between the Ministry of Agriculture and the use of water resources to ensure adequate irrigation of farmlands and to guarantee that food is available all year round. As a country, Mr. President has made it clear that we are no longer comfortable with seasonal farming. We can no longer afford to have farming downtime. The presidential spokesman further explained that the federal government will partner with states to create ranches in those that are willing to avail lands. He said the ranches will have sections dedicated as grazing reserves. According to him, we will establish ranches in collaboration with state government and the federal government will pay for the land. Alake explained that the government at the center will activate land banks nationwide, which currently stand at 500,000 hectares, mapped to increase the availability of arable land for farming, which will immediately impact food outputs. This is as the central bank has advised middlemen withholding grains to release supplies at their disposal, as prices are likely to fall when the government begins to distribute grains. Alake was accompanied to the press briefing by the special advisor to the President on Revenue, Zak Adedeji, Special Advisor on Industry, Trade and Investment, John Uwajimogu, and the Acting Comptroller General of the Nigeria Customs Service, NCS Wale Adeniyi, among others. He explained that the briefing was to update the public on President Bola Tinubu-led administration's immediate response to the current food inflation in the country. He said, as a hands-on leader who follows developments across the country every day, Mr. President is not unmindful of the rising cost of food and how it affects the citizens. While availability is not a problem, affordability has been a major issue to many Nigerians in all parts of the country. This has led to a significant drop in demand, thereby undermining the viability of the entire agriculture and food value chain. Accordingly, in line with this administration's position on ensuring that the most vulnerable are supported, Mr. President has declared with immediate effect the following actions: that a state of emergency on food security be announced immediately, and that all matters pertaining to food and water availability and affordability as essential livelihood items be included within the purview of the National Security Council. As a direct and immediate response to this crisis, a number of initiatives will be deployed in the coming weeks to reverse this inflationary trend and guarantee future uninterrupted supplies of affordable foods to ordinary Nigerians. As with most emergencies, there are immediate, medium, and long-term interventions and solutions. In the immediate term, we intend to deploy some savings from the fuel subsidy removal into the agricultural sector, focusing on revamping the agricultural sector. In an earlier meeting with agriculture stakeholders today, we drafted a memorandum of partnership between the government and the individual stakeholder representatives that encompasses the decisions taken and actions proposed from our engagements. The immediate intervention strategies are as follows. We will immediately release fertilizers and grains to farmers and households to mitigate the effects of the subsidy removal. There must be an urgent synergy between the Ministry of Agriculture and the Ministry of Water Resources to ensure adequate irrigation of farmlands and to guarantee that food is produced all year round. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and please turn the notification bell on. Thank you. We shall create and support a national commodity board that will review and continuously assess food prices, as well as maintain a strategic food reserve that will be used as a price stabilization mechanism for critical grains and other food items. Through this board, government will moderate spikes and dips in food prices. To achieve this, we have the following stakeholders on board to support the intervention efforts of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu: the National Commodity Exchange (NCX), seed companies, National Seed Council and Research Institutes, Nisal Microfinance Bank, Food Processing and Agric Processing Associations, private sector holders and prime anchors, smallholder farmers, crop associations and fertilizer producers, blenders and suppliers associations, to mention a few. We will engage our security architecture to protect the farms and the farmers so that farmers can return to the farmlands without fear of attack. The central bank will continue to play a major role of funding the agricultural value chain. Activation of land banks. There is currently 500,000 hectares of already mapped land that will be used to increase availability of arable land for farming, which will immediately impact food outputs. Mechanization on land clearing. The government will also collaborate with mechanization companies to clear more forests and make them available for farming. River basins. There are currently 11 river basins that will ensure planting of crops during the dry season with irrigation schemes that will guarantee continuous farming production all year round to stem the seasonal glut and scarcity that we usually experience. We will deploy concessionary capital and funding to the sector, especially towards fertilizer, processing, mechanization, seeds, chemicals, equipment, feed, labor, etc. That's the news, guys. Thanks for listening. Until next time, bye.